Alright, so my name's Derek, and I'm here to tell you why homeschooling should be prohibited in California. So for my first claim, I'm going to talk about the harm homeschooling has on children by lack of regulation of homeschooling. Second claim, I'm going to talk about socialization, and my third claim is that it's talking about how much money and time it takes to homeschool. So, according to the Homeschool Association of California, you do not have to have credentials to homeschool kids. All that is required is to establish a home-based private school through the state, which is an easy process to go through if you want to homeschool your children. It's not very challenging to be in charge of your kids. So the Homeschool Association of California also states that there are minimal requirements for keeping certain school records and absolutely no requirement to report academic information on your child or to have them academically tested. So that raises a huge question on the reliability of homeschooling parents. If there's close to zero regulations, how is that fair to the children who have unqualified parents and receive a poor education? But more than just education, the lack of regulation on homeschooling gives opportunities to abusive families and parents who use it as a tool to hurt the children. Kids obviously, if they're being homeschooled, they don't have a different idea. Basically, their parents are in charge of everything in their lives, so they don't see any other way of living. So whatever they're told basically is what they perceive as normal, which is an issue. So, for example, the Homeschooling's InvisibleChildren.org tells a tragic story of Christina Corrigan from El Cerrito, California. She gained massive amounts of weight, so her mother had her removed from public school so she could be homeschooled. Christina had then continued to gain massive amounts of weight while her mother just neglected her and the issue. Eventually got to the point where Christina weighed 680 pounds and was immobile, so she literally couldn't move. Nothing was done to help her until she passed away from heart failure, and police found her in filthy conditions and bed sores all over her. And then Christina's mother was taken into custody. So that's a perfect example of the harm caused by the lack of regulation. With no law requiring exposure to outside sources, kids are left under the control of only the parents. So it just, without having laws that require parents to check their kids in, or like give reports of how their kids are doing in school, or in more private matters if their weight, that can be bad. So for my second claim, I'm going to talk about homeschool children and their socialization skills. So public schools have a vast variety of classes and activities that children can choose to associate with. This forces them to interact with other students and pick up on social normities of their age group. Essentially, this exposes them to an environment out of their comfort zone at an early age that prepares the kids for their adult life, where there will be many situations that call for social adaptation. With homeschooling, there's only interaction with family members, leaving the homeschooled kid comfortable in only one environment. So the negative might say that there's other activities that the parents can take their kids to, but in reality, these are like small events like clubs that only last for short periods of time, and they don't really compare to public school where kids are required to interact with other kids their age for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, so my third claim is that homeschooling takes a lot of time and money. An anonymous survey done in San Francisco by homefires.com states that on average a family spends $3,000 a year to homeschool one kid. So why pay all that money when the public school system can educate your kid for a lot less than that? And also, why spend all of that time when there are qualified teachers who went to school for the purpose of education? it's unlikely that one parent would be able to touch all the subjects that a kid is taught in school, as well as the public school environment where there's multiple teachers and multiple different areas where they're learning, and they're not just learning from one person. So if parents are willing to pay the money and they don't want their kids in public school, then there are more options than just homeschooling. They could enroll their kid in private school, giving the kids a more personalized education than public school, but it also exposes them to social environments, which is vital in the process of normal socialization, or normal social skills. Yeah, so just want to state that I think the lack of regulation is the biggest issue, and if there are no rules on it, then anyone can do it, and then that leaves consequences for kids who have parents that are irresponsible.